Yes, the FIA World Rallycross Championship returns to action in the beautiful city of Cape Town this weekend. The World Championship battle has been on hold since the unfortunate incident at Lydden Hill 2.5 months ago, but a solution has been found to continue the season using the all-electric Zeroid X1 cars, meaning that the title fight is back on with a vengeance. A brilliant day's racing here yesterday, and today promises to be equally as exciting. And as Luke has just been explaining to us, it all starts with this one-lap shootout known as SuperPole. Unbeaten for 13 SuperPole races until yesterday, and Kevin Hansen starts as the favourite today to try and get the better of the defending champion, Johan Kristoffersson. So we are ready to get racing, and before we get into the clock and the race action, let's introduce our expert analyst and the man of Rallycross, Hal Ridge, and have a close look, Hal, at this racetrack. Not an easy track at all here at Killarney International Raceway.
Absolutely not. This is a track that has a little bit of everything and is super challenging. A very long first corner, a right-hander that tightens into turn two. There we see plenty of action, especially in the final yesterday. A rough loose surface section to start the lap in the first chicane. The second chicane is all about being neat and tidy with some heavy braking down into the second loose surface section and the famous turn 7 where Andreas Backward and Timmy Hansen came together in 2019. A late joker means a late merge and a super precise final corner. This track has plenty to deal with for the drivers.
And the dust has been difficult, Hal. Many of the drivers have said that it's been right on the cusp of being close to needing some adjustment. That could be one of the key factors today.
It could. It won't affect any of the drivers now in SuperPole, but as we get into racing later on, that will absolutely be a factor, how the loose surfaces are managed. But right now, it's all about dealing with what's in front of you and an absolutely clear windscreen.
So getting the action underway from the allinkle.com team is the German driver René Munich. René has been contesting the European Rallycross Series for 2023. We're delighted to have him with us on tour, finishing 6th in the European standings and looking to close out the World RX season here in Cape Town, and of course to the season finale in Hong Kong next month. We're ready to race. This is the first action of the day. 4 red lights, green for go, and watch the clock as René Munich has one run, including the joker, to try and set the target time.
The all-in-court Munich motorsport machines were very good off the line yesterday. Both René Munich and teammate Timo Scheider, when we were watching the starts, the multi-car race starts from the drone footage, they were very good off the line. René clips that course marker. That's not an issue. There's no penalty for touching those markers on that part of the lap. Heavy braking at the end of this tarmac section for the German, racing this car for the very first time this weekend. Timo Scheider, his teammate's been super quick, hasn't he, so far through the course of the weekend. René takes 2 tenths off his first sector time from his SuperPole run yesterday, so improving all the time. Of course, the track's a little bit different, coming to the line through this difficult chicane, very sideways as he crosses the line. René Munich.
The German driver sets the early pace at 46.145 seconds and almost had it out of control there. Big sideways motion coming into the 9th and final corner there. It's a good time from René.
The first to stop the clocks. Riding on board of René as he drives back to the paddock. Identical starts from most of these machines, but like I said, the all-in-cool cars have been good off the line. They can set the start parameters. This is a little lip at the handbrake there. You see the rear wheel lock into turn 2, over the crest, down to the heavy braking area, into the second chicane, turns 4 and 5. This is the joker lap section we will see through the course of the weekend. And then nice and sideways for René. Just clipped that curb a bit too hard as he crossed the line. First time in the books.
Next up is Clara Anderson in today's SuperPole.
Super excited to be here. The track is one of the best, I think, on the calendar, so I can't wait to go out. A lot of good sweeping corners, and I think a lot of overtaking will be made, so super happy to be here.
Clara Anderson, who was 7th in the first of the doubleheader races here yesterday. A lot of people had high expectation for the Swedish female driver because she's got a lot of experience in this Zeroid X1 car as a former RX2E driver. But 7th position is something that she will look to build on here, picking up 9 championship points. Target time set by Rennie Munich, early current leader at 46.145 seconds. And as we all know, Clara Anderson, the first ever woman to podium on the FIA World Rallycross Series, 3rd in Montenegro last season on the 2022 tour. What a day that was. And she's been knocking on that podium door throughout the 2023 season as well. Learned a lot yesterday and looking to improve further today. There's a last-minute check here on the sensors. Start marshals still not happy. Hearing in our headphones up in the comm box here that there's a timing issue. Tim, this is Hal, I should say, Tim. Hal, this is a test of any driver's composure here. Not knowing why they're on hold, not knowing why there is a delay. Doesn't help really, does it? You've really got to focus.
They're in the zone, aren't they, the drivers now? Yes, it's not ideal being held, but all of the drivers in this field are elite athletes in Rallycross, and you can't really prepare for this scenario because you can't replicate it in a test situation. You can't replicate the feeling of being on the line, needing to deliver, because when you try and do that in a private session elsewhere, then it doesn't really matter if you mess it up, does it? So you know, anticipation is something you can't really replicate, but at the same time, Clara knows exactly what she needs to do. She had a tough day yesterday. I think her toughest day in World RX so far yesterday, but she'll have worked hard overnight. A lot of experience in CE dealer team. I think we are nearly ready to go as she applies the handbrake. Or is she just stopping the car, rolling back there? Of course, most start areas are not necessarily flat, so sometimes you have to hold the car. See the scars on the car of the loose surface sections as the gravel tears off the wrap. Makes it difficult for the teams to keep the cars looking nice and sharp, but it's the loose surfaces that produce plenty of action.
And here's the beauty of the double header, of course. Clara having a tough day in the office 24 hours ago, but there's a fresh set of points to be awarded today. 23 in total if you can take the victory in the race and win all of the 3 heats. So for Clara Anderson, as Hal has quite rightly pointed out, they'll study hard, long and hard in the paddock and back at base to put all of those issues right and come back with another chance to score here at the Killarney International Raceway.
And that's important, isn't it? That's what you need to do on a double-header weekend. It's all about working overnight and making the most of your opportunities. They're hard for the double-headers. They're for the team, sorry. The double-headers are hard for everybody. They're hard for the TV crew. They're hard for the event staff, and they're hard for the teams, but they do provide a lot of action. There's the SuperPole winner of yesterday, Kevin Hansen, number 71. Just you can see how long he's got to go. He's not even in the car yet because he'll be the penultimate driver with his current 2nd position in the World Championship standings.
Yeah, big day ahead, isn't there, for Kevin Hansen, really? And there's only there's quite a few points now starting to build on the side of JK, 38 points, and now we're ready to go. Here is the all clear for Clara Anderson, 2nd driver in SuperPole on day 2 here in the Killarney International Raceway in Cape Town, South Africa. The light's green, away she goes. Let's watch that clock very carefully, because René Munich's time seemed to be extraordinarily quicker than maybe it should have been, and now I seem to lose René Munich from our timing board here in the Combox house.
Yeah, clearly some sort of timing issue as Clara sends the car through turn 3, nice and sideways. The track's much smoother than it was yesterday. Now you've got to press the brakes so gently but firmly at the same time to not lock a wheel down there into turn 4, now into the joker section. Split left, now it's the long right-hander on the tarmac. Clara doesn't use all of the road on the way in. We see some drivers really touch the rear wheel on the grass. Now climbing up the hill, just missed that bollard on the left-hand side. It's all about threading the eye of the needle through the final corner. This is a great angle of how tight it is through the chicane. Clara's going to cross the line with
52.796. Now we've got the timing back where we need it to be. I'm pretty sure that René Munich wasn't 6 seconds quicker than Clara Anderson, so we need to make an adjustment here.
So we were having a chat on talkback, which is the way we talked to the guys in the truck, that René was actually 6 seconds quicker than his time of yesterday, which I was a bit confused by because the track hasn't changed that much. Clara's done a 52.7. For reference, her time yesterday was a 52.9. Now, absolutely, she could have found a couple of attempts, or equally the track could be slightly quicker as well. So a good run from Clara. Nice, clean and tidy, but I think, assuming that the track's sort of the same, I think she would have been hoping for a little bit more.
Well, as you said earlier, Clara Anderson didn't have the best day that she was hoping for 24 hours ago, but she learned so quickly. And I think that Clara will be looking to bounce back when we get into the four-car action in the heats later this morning. That delay didn't help the concentration, I believe. And that's another part of the learning curve for Clara Anderson, who, of course, was a rookie to the FIA World Rallycross Series last season.
I don't know, Nick, really, on the concentration thing, because they sit in the car for a long time before they get up to the start line. You know, they're in the car from the pre-grid area.
I'm a bit stuck.
Can I help?
Because I need to have the iPod, the headphones. So
Ah,
I haven't had radio.
That way you stay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you stay.
Next race is the Norwegian driver, Ossie Veiby.
Track here in South Africa looks amazing, and first corner, really long corner on tarmac, which tightens into a tighter corner. And I think here all the action will be, including also turn 7 looks challenging, and also a place to do a overtake. So really nice track, and also includes a jump.
Well, Ossie Veiby with 6 World RX podiums against his name, yet to win one, and he's determined to try and crush that stat before the 2023 season comes to an end. 6 times on the podium, but again, didn't have the best of days in the office yesterday, only managing 6th position and coming away with 10 championship points. Let's see if Veiby on day 2 can make amends and get back into the podium position challenge. There's the target time to the left of your screens, set by Clara Anderson at 52.796 seconds. Anderson watches on. As Veiby from the KMS team has the red light ready to race.
Disappointing outcome for Ossie Veiby yesterday in round 4 here in South Africa. Car had a problem in the final. It's always his car that has the problem, isn't it? And I'm sure that's absolutely not deliberate from the KMS squad, but if it's been a problem this year, it's usually been for poor old Ossie. Nice, neat and tidy through the first couple of corners. That looked very good to me. From a rally background, Ola Christian, and he's very comfortable with moving the car around underneath him. Sometimes it needs to be tidied up a little bit, but he gets extraordinary pace from his rally style, runs right to the edge of the road. on the way in and the way out of this tarmac area of the Joker section. That's 6A and 6B in corner numbers. A 10th up on Anderson in Sector 1, a couple of attempts in Sector 2 as well. This is going to put OC to the top of the order.
And that is a good performance from Vaby, 52.078 seconds, 0.28 quicker than Clara Anderson. Let's hope that that car works with him rather against him today, because we all know that Vaby, who's off the back of a podium in the last round of the FIA World Rallycross Championship in Norway. Here's a slow-mo again, how this is Vaby hoping for no mechanical issues. We all know he has the pace to mix it with the best.
And nobody wants to beat Johan Kristoffersson more than Ola Christian does. They're good friends, teammates, of course. They're not do anything untoward to each other, but he would desperately like to beat Johan, and arguably he's got the best opportunity to, because he can see exactly what Johan's doing, whereas the other drivers are only looking from the outside. Vaby's got all of Kristoffersson's data, and he'll hope that he can put that and his own talent to good use today to try and get to the top of the order.
So Vaby sets the pace. Next up, the German driver, Timo Scheider.
Going off the line here in Cape Town is very specific because turn 1 is a very tight corner and is very special for overtaking. So watch out here. And then after you have the technical area. And into the dirt, quite dusty sometimes, but also options for overtaking. And then you head back to start finish, where you have the quick chicane over the start finish line. And if you love Cape Town as I do, watch out.
And watch out, all the drivers will, because Timo Scheider had an amazing day in the office. He was a winner in one of the heats. He took 3rd position in the podium by the end of the day, his 2nd podium of the season. And there is no question, Timo Scheider, with the least amount of experience in these 08 X1 cars, has taken to it like a duck to water. He's enjoying Cape Town. He's already told us that this is one of his favourite venues, but the way he's learning to throw this new car around is quite exceptional. A brilliant podium yesterday. Scheider is a driver to watch very carefully indeed today. Vaby sets the pace, 52.078. Away goes Timo Scheider.
Super close, isn't it, with these identical specification cars? You really don't know who's going to hook the lap up. Quite often you see a driver like OC Vaby start early and stay in that position for a while, but Timo could very easily go quicker here if he gets a good run. That's not going to be in the opening sector, though, I don't think. Didn't look quite as neat and tidy as Vaby, and I'm right by a few thousandths of a second. Thank you, Timo. But yeah, Vaby looked really good through that first part of the lap. Timo is the master of being neat and tidy, just like Johan Kristoffersson is from his circuit racing experience, a double DTM champion when the DTM was so closely fought in Germany. Good sector 2 from Scheider. He's quicker than Vaby. This is going to be nick and tuck as they go to the line.
This is Scheider maintaining his impressive form, going top of the table, just over 700ths of a second, quicker than OC Vaby. Anderson is now down into 3rd position. Timo Scheider's confidence goes from strength to strength here in Cape Town. Learning quickly to handle the setup of the car, learning quickly this track, and Timo Scheider again gives himself a really good confidence boost in his first challenge of the day.
Not quite as quick as the time set by Vaby in Sector 1 by just a fraction, but then consistently quicker in Sectors 2 and 3. Been quick all weekend, Scheider, hasn't he? Was quick from free practice, even without that experience she spoke about, and clearly comfortable using all of the road there at the end of the lap to cross the line.
Next up is Timmy Hansen.
SuperPole coming up in these new cars. We've done a bit of practice, but it's still all very new. Need to be super tidy with this car. That's everything it takes. So yeah, let's see if we can put it together.
Timmy Hansen, of course, has that sensational story that has been told every year and many times over, wrapping up the 2019 FIA World Rallycross Championship here in Cape Town, South Africa. And he's slowly but surely trying to get his season back on track after a difficult start of after taking that 2019 championship. He was also runner-up to Johan Kristoffersen last season in 2022. A little frustrated to only come away with a 4th position here yesterday. But now Timmy Hansen is on a mission. He's on a mission to find the podium and to win one before our 2023 campaign is over. Timo Scheider watches on. Timmy Hansen, next to drive, needs to go sub 52 on the 1 lap to take the lead from the German driver.
Away from the line for Timmy Hansen. Just racking my very minute brain there, Nick. I think you have to go back to 2018 for the last time that Timmy Hansen didn't win a World RX round in a season, so he will be very keen to stop the Kristoffersen train this weekend, just as will Nicholas Gronholm, Kevin Hansen, Timo Scheider and the rest of the field in World RX will be to do the same. 2 temps up on the best time in Sector 1. That was set by Timo Scheider. Now we run through this Joker section. Hansen right to the outside of the track, but not sticking the rear wheel in the dirt. Oh, he's got sideways on the way in. I think he's lost a bit of momentum there compared to the neat and tidy Scheider. Difficult to tell from that drone shot, but he has. He's lost a couple of attempts in the middle sector. This is a bit wild from Timmy.
Timmy Hansen, 51.706. Wow, that was an amazing 3rd sector time from Timmy Hansen to take the lead away from Timo Scheider. He lost position again in the 2nd split time there. You can see it for yourselves, losing over a quarter of a second, but he battled, dug deep, got it back, takes the lead. And Timmy Hansen is fast, but we've yet to see him put together a perfect run through all of the 9 corners. And when Timmy Hansen can find that perfect run, he will be a force to be reckoned with. Hal, talk us through the replay here.
So yesterday, Timmy lost a couple of attempts in the final sector, and that's what cost him dear in the SuperPole run. He ended up 4th in the session. This time he dropped, nearly 3 attempts to Scheider in Sector 2. I think it was down here where he got that little bit of over-rotation. The drone shot made it look worse than it is, to be fair. He wasn't... I think he's just a bit too sideways on the way in. I will stand by that, but from the drone it looked much worse than it looked from that outside angle. Nevertheless, though, driving to the fastest time for Timmy Hansen with just a few drivers to go.
Yeah, maybe that little error, Timmy Hansen felt it himself, which gave him the motivation to really push in that final section. Next up is the Flying Finn, Niklas Gronholm.
The track here in Cape Town has a really good flow. Turn 1 usually is quite exciting. Some opportunities to pass right away from the start. Other than that, a cool jump. A few tricky chicanes where we need to be really precise, close to the barriers and stuff, but all in all, a really nice track.
Well, Gronholm was a former winner here in Killarney, actually winning that race in 2019 where Timmy Hansen took the World Championship title, puts him right in there. And for Gronholm, of course, he has been pushed down into 3rd position in the championship standing after finishing just 5th here yesterday. I think Nicholas will be the first to admit that he didn't have the best of days. There were problems with punches, there were problems throughout the day. Just didn't find that flow and groove that he was talking about in his pre-race interview there. But don't write off Gronholm just yet. He's been on the podium twice this season and he knows how to come from behind and off the pace to challenge the world's best. And I think Gronholm could be the spoiler in the pack here today to stop JK running away with the title before we get to China. Looking to make amends for a tough day yesterday, here goes Niklas Gronholm in his 1-lap SuperPole charge.
Unblinking eyes for Niklas Gronholm as he stared at the start lights. Timmy Hansen staring at the monitor down there at the race end area as he watches the Finn complete his lap neat and tidy through turn 1 into turn 2. Loads of rotation on the way into 3 over the crest. Keep the car nice and straight. Now it's all about this heavy braking area down to 4. A little bit of a moment as Niklas just got onto the grass as he was braking. Neat and tidy through the second chicane, but he's dropped to 10th to Hansen on the grass again for Gronholm as he went into 6A, using the nose of the car more efficiently there than Timmy Hansen did through the middle sector. Now he's driving back up the hill towards the line. This could be close, having taken a 10th back.
He's coming strong here, the Finn. Watch the clock carefully. Oh, 51. 8.45. Just misses Gronholm by 0.139. It's part of the challenge there. Not as clean as he was hoping for through split 1 and split 3. Talk us through it, Hal.
Just as yesterday, Gronholm hasn't gone purple in any of the sectors. Purple on the timing screen up here in commentary means that you have set the ultimate best sector time, but he was consistent. He's been consistently quick in all of the different parts of the lap to be second at the moment, and with only 2 drivers to go, that's going to net him at least 4th. But as we discussed yesterday, Nick, would you rather be 5th than 4th? I think you would, because at least that would give you the inside for the first of the race, or for the second of the races in time for Heat 1, rather than the outside for the fastest of the runs. We'll have to wait and see how that plays out later on this morning.
Well, Timmy Hansen is at the top of the table there to the left of your screens, with his younger brother coming up next. Of course, that's Kevin Hansen.
Kevin's fast.
The Kelowna racetrack is super cool. Turn 1 is very tricky. You have to balance the car for so long, a big jump, and super slippery gravel that really progresses through the day. So to get this track right, it's a real thread of the needle.
Well, Kevin Hansen, who stopped a 13-race run of wins from Johan Kristoffersson in the SuperPole yesterday, in the 14th edition of this SuperPole, the new addition to the FIA World Rallycross Series back in 2022. He was the first one, other than JK, to have won this one-lap challenge. And I think that's given Kevin Hansen a real boost of confidence. It would be no surprise to see Kevin take the lead from his brother. We know the target time at 51.706 is well within his capability. And also, maybe for the first time this season, put the pressure on Johan Kristoffersson as well, who will be driving after Kevin Hansen. After his podium performance here yesterday, Kevin Hansen moves up into runner-up position in the championship standings, 38 points behind JK, the defending champ. So Kevin's mission today is clear. He's got to win absolutely everything from now until the end of play.
We know that Timmy Hansen, Kevin's brother, didn't have the best middle sector. Little lock-up inside rear for Kevin Hansen on the way into the first corner. This is a high-pressure environment for these drivers to nail a lap on their own from a standing start. Qualifying in circuit racing is done on a running lap, isn't it? The standing start here really does make it different. There's no warm-up. There's no way of getting ahead in gear. It's go from the offset. And the fastest time in the opening sector so far for Kevin Hansen is setting this lap up nicely for what he wants to achieve today. Nice and tidy there through turn 6B. Tidier than his brother was as he climbs back up the hill. He's gone quicker again in sector 2. This is going to put Kevin Hansen to the top of the order.
Kevin Hansen, the right side of the clock, goes top of the table. Kevin Hansen, 51.389. The brothers are 1 and 2, but it's Kevin Hansen looking for back-to-back SuperPole wins. Top spot here yesterday, goes top of the table here today with 1 driver left to challenge. That was a great performance from Kevin Hansen. Literally looking to pick it up where he left off this time yesterday at the Killarney International Raceway.
He did drop a 10th though to Timmy Hansen in that final sector. Wonder if he'll rue that in a few minutes time if Johan Kristoffersson nails all of the different parts of the lap, because the ultimate best lap at the moment is shared between the brothers Kevin and Timmy. Kevin was tidy in this early phase, bit of oversteer there, having applied the handbrake in turn 5, and then was just neat and tidy here in sector 2. Kept the wheels nice and straight, not too sideways. Back onto the tarmac section, just lost a little bit in the final sector, ran right to the grass on the outside, maximising the full potential of the lap. Wow, says Timmy Hansen.
Well, Kevin Hansen goes into the leader's position. One driver left to challenge. The 5 times FIA World Rallycross champion, Johan Kristoffersen.
Off the start line into the very long right-hander on the tarmac. Need to be neat and tidy. You cannot really gain a lot of time there, but you can lose a lot. From there on, needs to be fast and flowing through the chicanes on this track, and hopefully that would bring you a good lap time.
Well, no longer the unbeaten king of the SuperPole, but still a brilliant victory racing here yesterday and winning his 39th race. Will today be race win number 40? And if it all falls the right way, he could mathematically wrap up the world title here in Cape Town today as well. Now, one of the coolest, calmest and most beautifully professional drivers on the tour. I'm sure he's not feeling the pressure at all, but the team behind him, thinking that they would love to wrap up that title before we head to Hong Kong next month. But the first test for Johan Kristoffersen this morning is to get the better of Timmy Hansen with a target time of 51.389 seconds. Didn't have it all his own way yesterday, but the skill of this driver is quite remarkable. Let's check out his first challenge for day 2.
To say that Johan Kristoffersen was disappointed with his lap yesterday is a massive exaggeration. He described it to me yesterday evening as his worst lap of the weekend, didn't hit any of his markers, and he said the most frustrating thing was did a terrible lap and wasn't actually that far off being fastest in SuperPole, so we could be about to see a very hot lap indeed from the Swede. And he's quicker by just a fraction in the opening sector. You can see Kevin Hansen watching on in the box to the left of your screen as Johan Kristoffersen comes into the Joker section. Kevin turns around to watch Kristoffersen in the background. Really leans on the front axle of the Zeroid X1 in the Joker section, coming back up the hill, and he's quicker again. This is Kristoffersen at his absolute best.
3 brilliant sector times from Johan Kristoffersen. He's back on top in SuperPole. This time he gets the markers, this time he gets the racing line that he was looking for, and takes top position by over half a second from Kevin Hansen. 8/10 plus on Timmy Hansen. Brilliant driving from JK, and that may well set the pace for the day. He's on track for the World Championship title of 2023, and if he can keep driving like that, Hal, he'll probably tumble by the end of play.
He knows as well, doesn't he? Waving out of the window. He knows he's delivered an absolute blinder there in SuperPole. Look at the rear spoiler moving around on the Zeroid X1. There you see the loads put through these cars. And Kristoffersen put the biggest load of all through his machine, didn't he? A brilliant lap from him. Half a second quicker than the best of the times of anybody else. A 51.6 was the best time yesterday, a 50.8 today. Absolutely fantastic. Kevin Hansen had gone 3/10 quicker than his time of yesterday, but Kristoffersen absolutely smashed it out of the park.
What an exciting SuperPole with Johan Kristoffersen back at the top of the table, winning 14 out of the 15 total SuperPole races since its introduction in 2022. Kevin Hansen settles for runner-up position today after winning this race yesterday. Timmy Hansen third, Niklas Gronholm and Timo Scheider and the teammate of Kristoffersen, OC Veby, will be a little concerned to be so far off the pace of the winning Swede. Let's go down to Luke and hear more.
Johan, 0.5 clear of the field. I'm just going to let you take that away. What an amazing lap there.
Yeah, it was a good lap. I said yesterday that before SuperPole, that I probably could do a 51.1, and I absolutely didn't get that lap correctly. But this was a good lap, and yeah, very happy to see that the field is so tight and be able to pull out that lap time in front of the other. Of course, feels very, very good.
And just talking to you, do you seem to be getting just more and more comfortable in this car across the weekend?
Yeah, I mean, it is work, 24/7 since we arrived here and trying to maximize everything. And the car felt very, very good after the changes we did yesterday until today. So it felt good already in warm-up. Some small adjustments for that. And yeah, on top of that, it was a very, very good lap. So yeah, happy days. And yeah, you just have to keep going. I mean, even though you might believe that there is a win to win SuperPole, it's not.